Hi, my name is Chef Fernando Mojica. I'm here with Columbus State Community College Hospitality Programs. Thank you for joining us again today. We're glad to have you for another video. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do a fun, quick dish with gluten-free pasta with vegetables, right? We're going to show you how to do a tomato cream sauce. But one fun fact that we're going to do is, instead of doing the tomato sauce from scratch, in one of the other videos that we did a little while ago, we made a tomato sauce, and then what we did, a tomato soup. And then what we did is we turned that soup into 4 or 5 different varieties, but we used that same exact recipe. We used that same base soup for it. And what we did is we reduced it a little more, make it a little thicker, and then we ended up with a tomato sauce. So that's another idea that you can use one recipe for multiple uses, right? So what we have today, it's a little bit of gluten-free pasta. Certainly you can use any other regular pasta. You don't have to use gluten-free, but today we wanted to show you the difference between working with gluten-free pasta and a normal pasta. We have just about 2 ounces of that. We have a couple of ounces of cauliflower, a couple of ounces of broccolini, a couple of ounces of red pearl onions, and a couple of ounces of artichoke hearts. Now, certainly you can use any other vegetable that you prefer. We like the combination and the flavors of these, but you can certainly use any other vegetable. We have a couple of ounces of olive oil, a couple tablespoons of butter, 1 shallot, a couple of cloves of garlic. We have about 6 ounces of heavy cream, about an ounce or so of chopped chives and chopped basil. We also have just about 2 ounces of white wine. You certainly don't have to use the wine. You can omit that if you prefer. And then we have a couple of ounces of Parmesan cheese. So we'll get you going through all of these, and we hope you enjoy the video. We're going to start by doing pasta, right? So a couple different ways to do it that I like to point out that I prefer to do my pasta, right? First of all, we want to make sure water is seasoned. That will season the pasta itself. You want it to taste like the ocean. So nice salty, but not overly salty. You know, taste like the ocean. You're going to take your pasta and we're just going to let it, drop it right into the boiling water. We're going to let this go. Now, gluten-free pasta is normally going to cook a lot faster than regular pasta. It's going to tend to want to stick more. So what you want to do is every minute or so you want to stir it just to separate that, right? So this is probably going to take about 6-7 minutes. It won't take long for it to be that consistency that you're looking at. So we're going to let this go, and while we do that, we're going to blanch our vegetables. But before we do that, one thing I want to point out is when you make, the way I like to make this dish is I don't like to rinse my pasta after I get it out of the water, right? And the reason I don't do that is because if you cook your pasta in nice seafood, salty seafood, tastes like the ocean water, what happens is you're incorporating flavor into the pasta. If you submerge that in cold water to rinse it and to cool it down, that will rinse all that flavor away. So what I like to do is I like to get it out of the water and then just drain it and shake it really nice to get all the excess water, and I like to lay it out on a cookie tray or some sort of container where it's nice and shallow, and just let that cool down. So I also cook it just a little bit under. So I said 6 to 7 minutes. Normally you will take a little more if you wanna, if you're gonna put it in water. So that's the reason I like to do that. So while the pasta is cooking, we're gonna go ahead and start cooking our vegetables. So we start with a cauliflower. We just cut this into florets. We're gonna dump it right into the boiling water. We're gonna cook it for about 3-4 minutes until nice and soft, but you don't want it to be mushy. Once this is done, we're gonna take it out. We are gonna blanch these with ice water in a little bit, just to seal that color and to make sure that the color is nice and bright and it cools down. You don't wanna overcook it. So we're gonna start by cooking the vegetables while the pasta is going. We're gonna start with the cauliflower. We're just gonna dump it right into the boiling water. The water is a little salted, again, just like the ocean, tastes like the ocean. A couple of 3 minutes, and then we're gonna take them out. We're gonna scoop them out, save the water. We're gonna use the same water to cook all the vegetables. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna shock these, what we call shocking. So we're gonna take an ice bath ready, and we're gonna put the vegetables on the ice bath. What that's gonna do is that's gonna cool them down real fast. We're gonna warm it back up again. However, that's gonna also seal the flavor and seal the color of the vegetables, so they'll be nice and bright, as opposed to letting them cool down at room temperature and they get a little of an opaque color, especially with green vegetables like the broccolini. So we're gonna do this for a couple of minutes, and then we'll do the rest of the vegetables. So cauliflowers are done. We're gonna do the same thing with the broccolini. These are gonna take just about 3-4 minutes. It won't take long. And again, we're gonna cook these in salty water, shock them in cold water to seal the color, and then we'll move on to the onions that we have. All right, so we cooked the broccolini. As I mentioned, we put them in ice water for a couple of minutes to cool it down. As you can see, the nice bright color, right? Again, the shocking of the vegetables will, especially with green vegetables, will seal it in that color and make them still look nice and vibrant. We're gonna also do the same thing with the red onions. Just about 2-3 minutes. Get them cooked, get them blanched. Into the ice water they'll go. We'll get them out, and then from that point on, we're ready to start building our sauce. All right, so our pasta is almost done cooking. We're gonna start with the vegetables and start making our sauce. So we're gonna start with the oil and the butter. We're gonna warm this up. You want the butter to be melted. You want to keep an eye on it though. You don't want it to start browning and toasting, right? So we're just gonna use this as a way to saute our vegetables. So we're gonna start there. Let these warm up, and then we're gonna start by sauteing the broccolini and the cauliflowers, because those are gonna take just a little bit longer to do, and then we'll move on to the rest of the vegetables. All right, so the butter is melted. We're gonna start by adding the broccolini here, right? And we're also going to add our cauliflower, a little salt and a little pepper. We're gonna saute this for about 3 minutes or so, just to get them a little bit of color, and they'll start getting to warm up. Remember, these are already cooked. We already blanched them, we already cooked them. All we need to do at this point is to warm them all the way through. So now, this has been a couple of minutes, so almost ready. We're gonna throw in our artichokes. We're gonna throw in our red onions. And at this point, we're gonna also add the shallots and get those to be nice and, start to get nice and sweat, start to cook through all the way. Again, you want a little bit of color, but you don't want a lot of color on this, right? We're gonna also throw in our garlic and let that be nice and sauteed. So this is gonna go for an extra 3-4 minutes. So all together is gonna be just about 6-7 minutes until the vegetables are all the way through. All right, so the vegetables are done. We're gonna go ahead and add the white wine. We're gonna deglaze that, reduce the wine a little bit. Again, this is going to intensify the flavor, get a nice, beautiful aroma. Once the pan is almost dried up, all the liquid is almost gone, we're gonna go ahead and remove this and put them to the side for a little bit. And we're gonna use all that base and all the flavor that's there to start building the sauce. All right, so the wine is reduced. We're gonna remove this, like I said, remove this, save them. This won't take too long, so they're okay to sit here for a couple of minutes. All right, so we're gonna add a little bit of the sauce. It's okay that it's a little hot. We're gonna reduce the flame though, right? And then we're gonna simmer this until the sauce is warm all the way through. And after that, we're gonna start our emulsification of the cream and the sauce. Sauce is nice and warm up now. At this point, we're gonna add our cream, but you wanna be careful because you don't wanna bring this up to a boil, right? You want the cream to be emulsified, and what happens is if you bring this up to a boil again, that's gonna start separating the cream, and it's gonna, your sauce is not gonna be smooth and creamy. You want it to be nice and smooth and creamy. So at this point, we're gonna really reduce the heat to a very slow heat, and then we're just going to warm up all the way until the sauce is nice and warm up, the cream is warm up, and then at this point, we're gonna start adding our sauce, our pasta, and our vegetables. All right, at this point, we're gonna take the sauce, it's nice and warm through, we're gonna start adding the vegetables back into it. So we're gonna add the vegetables, we're going to add the pasta, and then we're just gonna lightly toss it. You know, the pasta, it looks like it's going to stick, but it really doesn't, right? Once you start moving it around into the sauce and start getting some sauce in it, the pasta will start to fall individually, and so you won't have a big chunk of pasta. So it just looks like it is because again, it doesn't. You didn't put any of the water, you didn't put any oil. Again, you don't want to add water, you don't want to add oil to your pasta because you want the sauce to stick to it rather than having. If you put oil in it when you're cooking your pasta, the oil will prevent some of the sauce from sticking over. So we're gonna toss this around for a couple of minutes, warm it all the way through, and then we're ready to serve. Pasta is ready, it's warm all through, we're just ready to serve. Again, I hope you enjoyed this recipe. I hope you enjoyed the video. Simple techniques, Pretty easy techniques, pretty fast. It's no time, doesn't take a lot of time to pull a dish like this through. So we hope you enjoyed it. We're gonna go ahead and plate it. We're gonna top it with a little bit of the Parmesan cheese that we had, and hope you enjoyed it. And we hope to see you again soon. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Rayleigh Harper with the School of Hospitality Management and Culinary Arts at Columbus State Community College. We hope you're enjoying our new YouTube channel and would love for you to subscribe to see more videos and chef demonstrations. Also, please visit us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Lastly, you can visit cscc.edu, the Hospitality Department page, if you would like to learn more information about our programs and our school.